It really is true when they say water is life, and if you live in an environment like I do out here in the desert, you really need to think about water storage and procuring water from possibly contaminated sources. So today, we're taking a look at this IPREE ABS 5000 liter water filtration and purification device. Let's check it out. Alright folks, welcome back. Now, in normal environments, we know that the rules of threes, where 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter in adverse weather, 3 weeks without food, and they say 3 days without water. In normal environments, that's probably true. Try going 3 days without any kind of liquid or water in the desert, okay? Whole different ball game. You're definitely going to want to be able to have some water. So if you live in a drier, hotter climate, or even just a hotter, humid climate, you're going to want a way to not only store water, but possibly get some water from sources where you don't know the heritage of the water. You don't know what kind of water it is. You may find a stream somewhere, a murky kind of pond, whatever, and you're not sure if that water is good. And that's where a water filter comes in. Now, with the advent of hollow fiber membrane technology, water filters have come down a whole lot. I mean, a ton. And basically what they are is they're little straws with pores in them that allow the water to, kind of be sucked into the pores and be purified and cleaned through the straw. Basically, it's kind of the same technology that they use in kidney dialysis. So, we're going to take a look at this. I'm going to take everything out of the box here and show it to you. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it's a great price. It's $18.99. So, under 20 bucks, you're going to have a decent hollow fiber membrane water filter. And I find that this has a few different features from, say, the Sawyer Minis you'll buy in Walmart, and that's why I wanted to check it out, aside from those, and see if it's any better. So, let's open up the box here first of all, and the box has kind of been through shipping, as you can tell. Kind of beat up. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to get here, and I always used to wonder what these things were before I really delved into learning more about preparedness. They always give you a syringe, and I was like, what the heck are they giving you a syringe for? But then I found out it's for backflow, for cleaning the device out after it's done. You're going to fill this with clean water and force it through when you're done with everything and you want to clean up your filter. Another good point with hollow fiber membrane filters is to remember in certain temperatures, like below zero, freezing kind of temperatures, you don't want to let the water freeze in those hollow fiber membranes. Imagine filling a straw with water and taping up the ends and putting it in your backpack and then trying to drink with it after walking through below zero weather. Of course, the water is going to freeze. Well, with hollow fiber membranes, not only does the water freeze, but it damages the membrane somewhat. It never quite works as efficiently as it should after that. Next up, we're getting a straw in here. This is one of the features that I feel is very handy as compared to the Life Straws and the other Sawyer water filters that are in Walmart. So that's kind of a handy feature, and you could probably add that to one of them, but it all comes in one thing. Next up, you're going to get the filter itself with directions here. Okay, and we'll give you the specs on all this after. This is the filter here. I do like that it comes nice and sealed and not just sitting in the bag. You'd be surprised. I've gotten some water filters that were just sitting in a dirty box, and I'm like, jeez, So it's nice that this comes like that. And give you a quick look at it. There you go. Okay. Pretty much the same thing. It's obvious which end to drink out of because it's got the cap, but it also has arrows on it. So if you had any question about what side is up to drink out of, it's this one here. Okay, there you go with that. And lastly, you're getting a bag to attach it. Now what we're going to do today with this bag is we're going to fill this with dirty water. I have many of these bags, so I'm not worried about this one becoming unusable. Plus I'm only putting dirt in it, muddy kind of dirty, silty water. So I'm not worried about that. One of the nice things I noticed right away when I took this out is look at that cap. That will fit any regular water bottle that you may already have that might be nasty, or maybe you found a water bottle and you want to filter water in it, you can do that. So if this thing fails on you, you can take your average little Aquafina water bottle, screw it in there, and filter it through there. Also, I tell you people, it's a good idea to always buy more of these. You can buy these anywhere. They're all the same size threads. Nothing's unusual about them. Let's open it up and take a look at it. Alright, so there you go. And these do tend to crack after a while, after use a lot. No big deal. It does have a little carabiner on it. I would advise that if you're going to drink out of one of these, that you get a clean one and a dirty one, and you mark it as such. You write dirty or, contaminated, whatever, on the one you're going to put your dirty water in. Like if I find a stream somewhere and I want to filter out the water, I'll stick that in there, filter out my water, put it in here. And this is my contaminated one. I never drink out of this again. And I have another one that's a clean one. If I want to filter my water, say, put this in here and filter it into the clean one, and then I can carry that kind of like a canteen. However, I don't recommend these for long-term water carrying because they are kind of thin and flimsy and will eventually break on you, and that's why Sawyer sells replacements. You can buy the Sawyer replacement bags anywhere. So, that's pretty much it. I'm going to give you a little information on the filter itself. This can purify up to 5,000 liters of water down to 0.01 microns. It has a pre-filter, an antibacterial hollow fiber membrane filter in the center to remove any waterborne parasites and bacteria, and of course it's the usual 99.9999% everything in there. Okay, you have a nice soft cap on top here, like we were talking about before, that protects your drinking end from any kind of dirt or dust or anything. If you drop it in the dirt, you don't have to worry about it getting muddy. Okay, it's really a perfect thing for emergency preparedness, backpacking, anything like that. You can't possibly bring enough water for you, especially in this environment here. You can't possibly bring enough water for you to drink if you're going out for more than a day or two. So that's why I tell people, always take a water filter. If you go off of, for those local people here, if you go off of Highway 160 as you're driving into Vegas, up into those hills on the left-hand side, there's plenty of streams and tributaries and stuff that run down off those mountains. And for those that don't know, it's just mountains that beat our aquifer in town. Some of them don't have any vegetation growing on the side of them, and I'd be kind of careful about drinking from those. But there are lots of them, but they're probably contaminated, dirty, muddy, whatever. So this is something very, very handy to have. It's also handy to have, say, if you ride an ATV or a dirt bike and you go out in the middle of nowhere and you might get injured, you might not be able to make it out, your bike might break. So it could be an issue like that. Now you have a way to procure water if you find a water source. So if you live with water sources around you, definitely a handy thing to have. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly how it works. First of all, if you're going to use this as a straw, the first thing you're going to do is connect this to here on the bottom, like that, and just drink from it. Drink right from a stream, whatever, a tributary, water, any kind of pond. I mean, I've seen people use the life straws in ponds, so I'm sure this would work for that too. Okay, if you want to use this in a different manner, what you can do is fill this again, like I said, with dirty water. You know, I doesn't necessarily have to look dirty. It could be very full of parasites and stuff. And you're going to screw it on here. Okay, and once you take the cap off, and you're going to squeeze it through. You can also do a gravity feed system. Say, I don't know if this will fit over this end. Let's see. If you wanted to put it into a bottle. Actually, it will. Look at that. All right, cool. So if you want to do a gravity feed system and just let it hang, I'll let you see the whole thing here. You just let it hang and drip into a bottle. It might be a good way to purify water if you don't need it right away. You can put this in a bottle and let it drip down into it, or any kind of Nalgene bottle, something like that. You know, you can do that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fill this up with water and some of the mud that's outside. And remember, I said my soil out here is very, very clay-like soil, and you'll always get that. You may be clean water, but you'll always get that clay aftertaste in filters that are not up to the par. You may get clean water. You may not get sick from drinking it, but you'll always get that clay aftertaste if it's not good enough filtration. So when I can drink the water and I don't taste that clay kind of aftertaste in it, I know the water filter is doing a good job. So what we're going to do is fill that up and give it a shot and see just how we can filter the water out and see what it looks like. I have a nice clear bowl over here that we're going to be filtering the water into, so you can see as it comes out with me and see what it looks like, and then we'll taste it and try it out. All right, so what seemed like a second for you is about 45 minutes for me, because I went out there and cleaned my garden up. Anyway, we're all set. I got some nice dirty water here. And again, this is the clay soil, and you'll see there's lots of stuff in it. This is that clay soil that has that nasty kind of taste to it. If you've ever accidentally got clay in your mouth, you know what I'm talking about. So, let's put this back here. Let me move in a little bit closer. Okay. Move the extra stuff out of the way. We're going to put the filter on top here. I try to keep these areas here, you know, the threads and everything, as clean as possible. there is always the chance that it will get stuck in there and make its way into your filter, but I try to keep as much of the crud out of there as I can. Okay, it's on there pretty good. There we go. I don't see any leaks. That's a good start right there. Okay, let's take it upside down here and see what comes out. Now normally, I'll be honest with you, normally when I get a filter, if I'm going to use it and not test it, if I'm going to use it for like backpacking or hiking, I'll do this with clean water once and just flush it through. You can see even with gravity, that's putting out a lot of water pretty darn quick. Okay, and you can also see how clear that water is. So what we're going to do, flip this back up. Yeah, normally I'll run regular water through here just to clear out any kind of leftover contaminants or crud that's in the filter or whatever. What I'm going to do here is just take this straw and see what the water tastes like. Yeah, no clay taste. Absolutely perfect. Something I thought would be interesting to do is take my TDS meter, my total dissolved solids meter, and test this water after it's been filtered. Now again, I know it's going to be higher than, say, regular water out of your tap or whatever. Plus our tap water has a little bit of a whole lot of TDS in it, even though they say it's acceptable. But I want to test it out and see. Alright, so here we go. We're going to put it in there. Wow, that is much, much lower. 175. Let's put it on hold. Okay. 175. Now it comes out of our tap water at about 250. I don't know why. Maybe it's our pipes, whatever. It hasn't gotten me sick. But that is pretty darn good. Be interesting to see what's left in here and see if we could possibly test that out. Let me dump that water out for a sec here. Okay. We're just going to take whatever's left in here. It's dirty water. Now, of course, there's a lot of dissolved solids in there. Turn off the hold. Drop it in. There may not be enough water to do this test. Let's see. There we go. Ah, it's showing 157. It's showing lower. That's funny. That's really funny. I don't know how that's possible. I may need to change the battery on it, or it may not be enough water in there. Actually, let's add some water. This is clean water. But I know there's a lot of dissolved solids in that stuff, so this is clean water. Let's try it out here. 179. So it's about the same, honestly. Mix up the stuff here. Yeah, 172. It's about the same. Again, this is measuring a ton of other stuff, and not all dissolved solids are bad for you. A lot of them are vitamins and minerals, so it's kind of hard to say. All I know is I wouldn't drink that, and I did drink the other stuff. So definitely pleased with the way the unit works. Seems to be doing its job. I am going to rinse out this container here. But I'm going to mark it that it's, dirty water. And I do like the straw idea. I'm going to show you really quickly here in a minute how to back flush this now that we have used it and we want to clean it out. Alright, so I got some clean water here, and you can use your pre-filtered water to do this, or you can use anything from a bottle or whatever. I'm going to fill up the syringe here. And you're going to do this just like you would, a hospital syringe, like that. You're going to take it and you're going to run the water the reverse. Like we got water in this way, right? When we were doing it. So what we want to do is push the dirt out that way. Just going to stick it in here. Whoops. Try to do this and stay on camera too. See all that? That's what I flushed out of my filter. So that's really good to keep doing that. Every time you use it, flush it out and keep it clean. Now, you don't have to do this like when you're on the trail. I would do this when you got home. Unless it's a very long-term hike, like if you're hiking somewhere for a month or something, or a bunch of days. But you see how much I'm getting out of there with that. And while we're doing this, I wanted to let you guys know, it's definitely starting to look like supply chains are drying up for a lot of the different food out there. And right now, my link down below with freeze-dried wholesalers will save you 15% on his food. Now, I know some people look at it and go, that's really expensive. But I want people to remember, it's only expensive because it lasts for 25 years. If 25 years from now I can go into my pantry and pull out some cheesecake and rehydrate it with some steam, I think it's worth a little bit extra. But The cool part is, if you use my link right down below there in the description, you can save 15%. 15% off your order just by clicking that link. There's no codes to enter, none of that stuff. You just click the link and you'll save 25%. I just want folks to get ready. Again, if you can't afford freeze-dried food, if you think it's a little too expensive for your budget right now, by all means, get your butt in gear and get to the store and get yourself some regular food. Now what I'm going to do here is one last time I'm going to take some clean water. I'm going to see how I'm doing in the clean water. See? I got most of it out. A little bit of one last shot. Yeah. Really all that I have in there is a couple little bits of bark or tree or whatever that is. So all in all, there you go. Done deal. It's cleaned out. Now again, I will leave this out overnight. I will shake it out too. It's a good idea. I can't do it here because I don't want to get it all over everything, but you can shake it out like that. And then leave it out overnight and let it dry before putting it away. You don't want to pack this away somewhere where it isn't going to evaporate and get nice and empty. Now it's warm climate here. It's going to be warm in the garage. This will be perfect for it. You don't want anything to breed inside the filter. So I'm going to shake it out again like I showed you. You know, we'll do a good shake out because you see there's a lot of water in there. Okay, and then I'm going to let it sit here for overnight, dry out, because you can feel how heavy it is with the water in it. When it's dried out, we will pack it away. So I'm very pleased with it so far. I got to say, for 18, 19 bucks, that's hard to beat. You know, water filters, back in the day when I first started prepping, and we're talking late 90s, water filters were crazy expensive. Pretty much they were exclusively the K-9 filters, and you were looking at $200 to $300 to $400 on some of them. So I'm really pleased that the technology has increased and come along where we have a situation like this where you can filter your stuff, and it's very affordable and very effective as well. Anyway, folks, that is the IPREE ABS 5,000 liter, I'll do 5,000 liters, water filtration purifier. Weighs about 4.2 ounces when empty. The flow rate on it, you saw, was pretty good. They say 3.4 cups or 27 ounces per minute, and your total net water that you'll get out of this before the filter needs to be replaced is 5,000 liters. That's a whole lot of water, so you're pretty much good to go. All in all, I'm very, very pleased with my purchase, and I think I will be using this in a different kit that I have. I have another kit that I'm putting together just for demo, but we actually are going to try and keep it around and use it if we need it. And I want to put this in my my ham radio stuff. So if I get called out somewhere in an emergency, I do have an extra water filter in there. I don't currently have one in there, and it's just going to go in my little emergency bag. I don't want a big, huge bag for you know, a deployment of a couple hours if we were to get called out. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. The link will be down below. This is on Banggood. Their shipping is extremely quick, by the way. You know, those of you folks that have ordered from Wish, you know, it takes like a month, and you anticipate, and something's coming, and you're so excited, and you get it, and it's like nothing that you looked at. Like, it'll look like this on the picture, and maybe you'll get the cap in the mail. So, Banggood has been really, really good to me as far as their products. I have had zero problems with them, and anything that I had that doesn't work, which happened a couple times, they've immediately replaced. No questions asked. So you can buy with confidence from them. They're a pretty good deal. I definitely like this. I have used IPREE products before. I've never had any issues with them. They work great. I have a couple stoves from them, and a couple. I have another water filter from them as well, and they've been really good. So I'm pleased with it. I think it's a good purchase. I think for under $20, can't beat it. I mean, even the Sawyer Minis now are like, you know, $25 in Walmart. So I would definitely, if you live in a dry climate, and even if you live in a regular climate, you know, where you got water everywhere, good idea to have a water filter. You don't have to lug around as much water. So definitely cool thing. Anyway, folks, like I said, the link will be down below. We already talked about freeze-dried wholesalers. Definitely click that link and save 15% if you're thinking about getting stocked up on food. I know locally here, suddenly there's no eggs. You know, in my town, there's no eggs in any of the stores. I'm going to go check today and see. As a matter of fact, I might do a video on that, or at least a short, to show it to you if there aren't any eggs today. So, you know, it's a good time to get stocked up on food. We talked about the 15% off just by using my link. Underneath that, we have our My Patriot Supply link. That's preparewithiridium.com. If you have nothing right now, okay, you're watching these videos and going, oh my God, what am I going to do? I got no food. I don't have time to shop. What am I going to do? You can go to preparewithiridium.com. You can order the 3-month kit. That's a definite good start. The 3-month kit, okay? and you can save $150 on it this month by grabbing that. We also have a 4-week kit where you can save $50, and below that is our Thrive Life. And man, I'll tell you, you guys have been shopping on Thrive this month. I am really impressed. I'm glad to see people stocking up on food and supplies, so definitely makes me feel a little bit better about the hard times I think we're going to be coming into. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.